back to my channel. I'm Guye and you're watching Guye B TV. So today I am here with Sophia and we are talking about education, school. She's a traditional student and I am on the non-traditional route, and we're just going to talk about like how that's been for us, her experiences and my experiences, and kind of like why you think it's important and why I think it's important, and if people feel like it's too late or not sure what they want to do, we'll just cover all those basics. Everything. Yeah. So I met Sophia, I think I met you like 3 years ago at the mall.
I think so.
Yeah, 3 years ago at the mall. And then I saw you around after that, here and there, and now we work at the same place. So I think that's funny. So I guess you could start. She's gonna talk about the traditional route. She's kind of like graduating high school, and
so start from like high school and then like
Okay.
Well, so I went through high school. I was a student who like took like honors classes and like AP. You know, went to school, had practice after, went home, homework.
What were you in? Like
practice. I did cross country, soccer, basketball for a little bit.
Jeez. Okay.
I did a lot, and yeah, that was that. So I was just practice a lot on the weekends. I practice and then homework and all of that. So I didn't really like go out like that. Like in high school, just homework, practice, maybe some like extracurricular like clubs or stuff like that, but just very much like within the school. Yeah. So that was my high school experience. And then during high school, I was part of this program. It was called College Possible, and like that really helped me like apply for scholarships, and they took me to different like college visits and all of that, and then kind of like put in my mind that like I could go to college and not have to worry about financial reasons. So that was a relief. Yeah. So like my senior year, you know, I have class, practice, and then I'd go to the program after, and then I just apply for as many scholarships and like schools and all those things, and you know, did ACT prep.
Oh my gosh, I wish I would have done that.
A lot, yeah. So that really helped out. And then after that, I applied for colleges. I applied to 5. I don't ever remember all of them. I know it's like UNL, KU. Yeah, you went there?
Yeah.
Oh, man, the campus is like so nice.
Beautiful.
I love it. But yeah, KU was one of them. And then I applied to UNO. And then there was this small school, Washington University. I think it's somewhere in Kansas. And then some school in Iowa. I can't even.
Like Iowa with the cyclones, or the
No, not like the Iowa school. It was a small,
like Drake.
I think I did apply to Drake. And then there was this other small one there, but I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, so I applied to all of them. I got into the main ones that I wanted to, which was like UNL, KU, and then UNO, and that was kind of like my backup because I wanted to get out of Omaha. But yeah, so I got into those, and then I was just waiting on my scholarships, and I basically made my decision based on the school that gave me the most scholarships, and that was
UNL. So your parents had no say in what?
Not really. I mean, they wanted me to stay in state kind of, but I was like, if I went out of state, I think they would have been okay with it too. Yeah.
Okay. So UNL did its thing. That's awesome. Did you ever get that whole like, because when I went to KU, a lot of the black students were there on scholarship because they were in sports, so they were always like, what sports do you play? And I'm like,
oh yeah,
nothing. I'm just here like a normal student. Did you ever get that?
Well, like I used to, or my freshman year, I worked in like, it was the lunchroom for like the athletes and stuff. So I always wore like Nebraska gear and all of that. So people assumed that I was a track athlete.
Oh my God.
And so every time like, oh, are you on the track team? I'm like, no, I'm not. I wear sweats a lot. But yeah, like UNL, it's not the most diverse, but we do have like a black population, but it's still kind of spread out. Like not everyone's like together like that. So.
I can totally agree because I applied to UNO, UNL, and KU. So I got accepted to UNO. That was like my first choice. Oh, wow. So I applied. I'm glad I didn't go because I would have been a hot mess. I applied to that, and I got that was my first acceptance letter, and I was so excited. And then my dad's like, you're not going. And so he said I had to go to school in South Dakota, and there was like the main campuses, SDSU and USD. So one was in Brookings, South Dakota, the other one's in Vermilion. And he was like, you're not going to school where everyone else is going. So he made me choose between Augustana, which they're both private schools, in Sioux Falls, literally blocks away from my house. I was like, I didn't get to choose anything. So yeah, I ended up going to University of Sioux Falls, which is a Christian private school. I hated every minute of it. Like, but we had like curfew. You can have like
curfew?
Yeah, you can't have like male like friends over after 12. No, after 11, and then everyone else has to leave by 12. Like, we just had the dumbest rules.
And this was college.
College. I'm like, I went from one jail cell to another. Like, escaping home to more rules, and I just hated it. So I ended up dropping out. Spring semester. So I went fall semester, did terrible, dropped out spring semester, and then I didn't go back to school till 2013. Yeah, so it's been a journey, but it's hard. But what I've like realized, a lot of students say like going all through 4 years is really hard. Like, have you faced any hardships? What were they, and how have you kept going?
Definitely. Like, you know, when you get out of high school, they're always telling you like go to university. I feel smart to go to a 2-year school first before you go to university, because like you actually know what you want to do, and you're not wasting your time and money on like classes that aren't gonna, you know, count in the long run.
Right.
But yeah, so like I went straight into college. Like, I was going in as biochemistry major.
Oh my god.
Girl, I was doing the most, but biochemistry, trying to do pre-medicine, you know, the whole doctor thing.
Me too.
And my family, like, they kind of...
So, what persuaded that? You are a family wanting to,
It was a little bit of both, because like growing up I was like, oh, doctor kind of sounds good, and then my family was like, oh, you should be a doctor. So I'm like, okay, I'll be a doctor.
Right. So you're like, yeah,
because throughout high school, like, I honestly like legit thought that I wanted to be a doctor. Like, I took all the science classes, I did all my research. I'm like, I'm gonna be a doctor when I'm 28 and I'm gonna work here. Like, I had my whole life, my whole life was planned out. Like everything was planned out. But yeah, so I go into college, and then that summer I thought about it. I'm like, biochemistry is not gonna work out. So, because like with pre-med, you have to take like a lot of science classes too.
Right.
So I just did psychology as my major, and then I did the pre-med route. So that's what I went into it as my freshman year.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And freshman year, like, it wasn't too bad. I had to take biology. That was a rough class. That class was so rough. And like, I had my first exam from that class. I completely failed, and I cried after that. So like, I'm never gonna be a doctor. I can't pass, you know, this little like biology class.
Right.
But it ended up fine anyway.
So you only had to take biology once?
Biology, yeah, once. But I take it twice.
3 times.
3 times? But sometimes you have to, honestly, like...
Sometimes you have, like, Hitler teachers.
It's the teacher. The teacher plays a major role.
The last teacher I had, like, made everything make sense. It was so easy. But then I'm like, why did I just not get it the first couple of times? Because that's so funny how you talked about, like, pre-med and psychology. I started the same way, like, growing up, my dad and like his family were just like, Alzheimer's like the future doctor that's just gonna save them all. And so I didn't want to be a doctor, but I wanted to make him proud. You know, just that pressure of like wanting to make your dad proud. So I was a pre-med major freshman year, and I absolutely hated it. And also like going to the hospital, I hate blood, I hate hospitals, I hate needles, I hate anything to do with that. So I'm like, what made me think I wanted to be a doctor in the first place? It was never me. So it's just like the pressure of that. And then after pre-med, then I switched to psychology. But then I was told like psychology is not really a major. You know, that
that's
like...
what people say. It's not true, but...
Right. They're like, it's not really a major. Like, you need to do something that you're actually going to benefit and actually get jobs from. So then I switched from that to communication studies, and even then that was still kind of like, why would you do that? But then like I went to KU for communication studies, and then after like a semester I'm like, this is all like knowledge that I already know. Why would I study basic human knowledge? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I guess I already have those skills, so I'm like, why would I do that? So then finally I became a business major because I realized I loved it and I liked like the whole entrepreneurship and just like watching people build businesses from the ground up. But like specifically marketing. Like I love marketing and I'm still learning it. But
that's awesome. That's good. Like you finally, you know, found like that thing that you actually want to work towards.
Right. But then I think it's just about like being like, you know what, I'm not happy doing this. I'm happy doing that. And that struggle where African parents don't believe in happiness, but they believe in what makes the money. So
oh my gosh, because that's how it was. Like so freshman year was psychology. Sophomore year I wanted to switch to nutrition for some reason, and like I was so done with like the whole doctor thing. I'm like, I'm gonna go into public health. I'm gonna major in nutrition. Like that's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
And then I was doing that for a while, but then it was too many chemistry classes. And chemistry was rough. Like I had to take that twice.
Girl, I never took it. I took it in high school, but that was it.
It's so rough. But yeah, it depends on the teacher too. But yeah, so did that for a little bit. And then I switched to nursing.
Which is still in the spectrum of the African, you know, what is it? Be a doctor, lawyer,
or
an engineer. There's a fourth one. I can't remember what it is. But
yeah.
So still fell on the spectrum.
And still on the same. And then with nursing, like I wanted to be a nurse practitioner. Like nursing was cool, but like I wanted to be, you know, kind of like the boss or just, I don't know, just have more responsibility.
Right.
Well, that's what I was working towards, and that's what I was doing my junior year, all nursing classes and like my psychology classes. And then I'm now in like my second semester, my senior year.
Yeah.
But first semester, no, I just decided this semester. But so I was doing nursing this past semester too.
Yeah. And
now this semester is finally when I decided like I don't want to do nursing anymore because I hate hospitals. I hate
yes. Honestly,
it's so bad.
It is.
Because it's so weird. Because like you think of the job, but you don't think of what you actually do in the job. Yeah, because there's so many like respect and everything that comes with it, but like you don't really think.
But they do a lot. Like
they do a lot.
I've even had nurses, even myself, like going and like they'll try to draw my blood and then like they'll make a mistake and then like my blood is just gushing out of that little whatever it is they do, and I'm like, like I don't want this anymore. Take it out. Like I don't trust nurses, and they're like, oh, they're a really good nurse. They do it once and they'll.
Yeah,
I'm always the one that's like this arm should we try? Yeah, so
I think like my ending point too with like nursing. So at my school we have a cadaver lab, which is like
ooh, child, I know.
A whole bunch of just dead bodies. Like we study from them and stuff. But yeah, we were just one day, you know, I came into my anatomy class and we're studying the muscles. So we go up to the cadaver and like we touch it and you know try to find the different things. I started the smell. I started getting nauseous and it was. You could see everything.
Does smell bad.
Yeah, it was too much for me. Like I can't.
You went a long time because
I
saw a cadaver our senior year of high school. They took us in at the college, so it was for anatomy class. As soon as I seen the dead body, I just started crying. Like, they had to take me out. I didn't even get to sit and, like, watch. Like, I was bawling my eyes out. Because I was just like, that person had a family. Like, they could have had kids, a whole life. And now they're just, like, here. So it was really traumatic for me. So that was kind of like a eye-opener. Like, I can't be in the field where people die. Like, even Grey's Anatomy, I can't watch.
See, like,
have you tried ever?
I've tried. Like, I went up to, like, season 2, but then I'm like, this is too much.
It's so sad. It's like, people are dying. People have these diseases and cancer. And
I mean, it gives me anxiety.
And
like,
getting
even,
shot.
Like,
just, like, those, just
too much.
I'm like, I can't put that in my mind because I don't want to, like, manifest any of it.
Yeah.
So I can't watch it.
Too much.
And then you also told me you went to what is it?
Oh, study abroad.
Study abroad,
yeah. Study abroad, definitely would recommend it. But I went there the summer. It was after my sophomore year. And it was through my school, like one of the faculty, like she does some work in South Africa there. But so I went there and we studied apartheid and like just the history of like kind of the history of South Africa and like the racial wars that went on and like
Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela and all of that. And you know, when we went there, it was really cool because like we went to the city of Cape Town.
Oh wow!
And we stayed in a hostel, which is kind of like
it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. Like we had students there from like Zimbabwe. Some came from like the Netherlands.
Oh,
so
sweet.
Yeah,
okay.
It was students from like all over the world that were living there too. But yeah, so we'd have class like once a week, and then the rest of the days we'd like go and like see different museums and different like attractions and then like historical things. So we did that for a while, and then we got to go to Robben Island to see Nelson Mandela's prison.
Oh my gosh.
And that was so crazy because the person who was our tour guide was actually a prisoner there. Before, yeah. So he was telling us like his experience and like.
What was that like?
It's so crazy because they had to like find ways to communicate with each other, and like I think one of the big things that they did, like they had the soccer team, and with that soccer team is where they like talked a lot about their plans and stuff. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but it's just like kind of like their political plans or like things that they wanted to do, and like they wrote like this whole rule book, and it was just so many things, but it was really interesting. Yeah, so we did that. I'm trying to think what else. We did a lot of stuff, but we also got to go to Port Elizabeth. And
never heard of that. What is that?
Yeah, Port Elizabeth is kind of like the California of South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
so
very
beaches.
Yeah, beaches, very laid back. Like everything is just slow. Whereas Cape Town, like everything is busy.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I loved it.
How'd you even get to go to that?
Well, in our school, like you can sign up for these different study abroads because a lot of our teachers, like they do work abroad. So I signed up for the program, and I had to do I think it was like this 2-3 page essay about why I should be in this program and why I should study abroad there, and you know how it benefit me or the community.
Right.
And at that time, like I was really into public health and like service work. So I'm like, you know, this would be a great. What did I say? In my essay I was talking about how like I know when I think of South Africa, all I think about is Nelson Mandela. Like yeah, I don't know about anything else. So I was saying like this would be a great learning opportunity, you know, to learn new things and also just be in a different environment and see how that's like and be able to like adjust to it and learn and all of that. Yeah, so I did that, and then from there I got accepted. I think it was a month later, because after the essays were all submitted, they accepted that. And then I started signing up for scholarships and financial aid and all of that. So I didn't have to pay out of pocket for like anything.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you really want to do it, like schools, they give you so much scholarships, especially if you're like a person of color, because they want diversity. So definitely, yeah, a good thing to do.
Were you born in the U.S. or were you born in Sudan?
I was born in Egypt, actually.
Okay, well that's even different.
I've never even been to Sudan, sadly.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, but definitely want to visit one day. But yeah, so that was that.
It's still kind of like going back home before, without like actually going home.
Yeah, so that was my first time back in Africa since, you know, being in Egypt.
I've never been back and I want to. Like,
you should, because when you come back, you have like such a different, just mindset and look at everything. It's so crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say? Okay, so I grew up like being told like I was the smart girl. I was never like, it was never beauty for me. It's like, oh my gosh, you're so smart. And then I had like a beautiful sister. She's gorgeous. And everyone's just like, oh my god, she's so beautiful. Do you feel like women can both be smart and be able to feel like they too are beautiful when you're not used to hearing it?
I think that could be, because like growing up, you know, I was not the prettiest, or like at least that's not how I viewed it, because I was a little bit on the chunkier side. So I got made fun of like a lot, like, oh, you know, you're too big, you need to lose weight and all that stuff.
Did that come from people you knew? Was that just family or just everybody?
It kind of came from everyone, honestly. And like family, you know, they tell you that because they want to help you out and be like, hey, you know, you need to watch your diet. You know, you should go and exercise. And like, you know, people they'll just like stare at you and be like, oh, you know, you're really big, or you know, all that stuff. Okay. So yeah, like I decided to, you know, start doing sports and working out and all that stuff, and like that's how I got into working out. But when I got to high school, I wasn't the smartest, honestly. Like I just did my work. Like I had a good work ethic. Okay. And that's what helped in like me being able to do good in my classes.
Because some people are like, oh, I'm not smart enough for college. But if you apply yourself,
if you actually work at it, you
can do it. So do you think not feeling prettier or feeling like you were back then like pushed you towards your intelligent or like schoolwork a lot more? Or did it just come natural, or did your parents have like a standard for school, or like what you needed to bring home? Or
I think it was like a lot of different factors too, because like my dad, he emphasizes school like so much. Like school is everything in my household. Like we'll switch everything around so we can accommodate you like going to school.
Right.
So it's a huge priority. So that was that, and then also like, I don't know, when I got into like high school and middle school, I got into reading a lot. So I read I read a lot of books, and like I didn't really go out with my friends like that. Like we had friends, like, you know, we hang out at each other's houses, but you know, we didn't do any parties, none of that. Yeah, so that just kind of pushed me to just focus on school and just class, and then I worked too. So
I was a bookworm. I loved books. Like my dad would always buy me books. Like I remember getting the whole Twilight saga because I wanted it, and he was like, as long as she's reading something, you know, I got my way. But I agree, like my dad emphasizes education to everyone. If I were to bring anybody home, the first thing he talks about is education. Like, you know, do you go to school? If not, like you should, the importance of it. My dad went to school here in the U.S. while having 6 of his kids, a full-time job and family, and got his associates and then bachelor's in business and administration, I believe. So it kind of, he set the bar, and he wanted to show us that like it's possible. And I'm like, well, I don't have any of those things, so what's my excuse not to finish, you know? So do any of your parents have degrees, or would you be the first, or?
No, my dad, he actually studied in Egypt. Like he studied there for a long time and got his engineering degree there.
Oh my gosh.
So he was, you know,
that's huge footsteps.
Like even now like my brother's an engineer, so it's,
oh my gosh.
They really did it. He did that in Egypt, but then when we came here, his degree didn't count. Right. So he couldn't get a job like in his field and had to work, you know, these little jobs that didn't pay much at all.
Yeah, factories. And,
yeah. So like now, like he went back to Sudan, and like that's where he's working now, and like he's doing politics and all of that. But
yikes.
Yeah.
That's a tough subject. Politics in Sudan, man.
But just, you know, you gotta make a living and try to,
honestly, because it's kind of a setback to have a degree and then go to a different country and then not have your degree work at all, and then you're back to
square one.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that either. I would have done the same thing. Go back to my own country.
And actually like make a difference there instead of just, you know, doing some backwards thing here.
Man, are you excited to graduate?
I am. It feels like so long, but it really isn't, but it is.
It's only been 4 years, and you feel so long compared to me.
I bet you're excited.
2011, 2019, that's 8 years off and on from school. So it's literally been a journey, but I feel like it's never too late. Like, you don't have to prove anything to yourself, to anyone but yourself, and when you do that, then you enjoy it a lot more. Yeah. And then also, honestly, a huge push that happened to me in Lincoln was when I first moved here, I would try to get like desk jobs, like, you know, receptionist or office administrator. And they would always, like, whether it was like a job agency, they would try to give me like a banquet job or like those housekeeping jobs. And I'm like, I'm more than qualified to be a receptionist, you know? I know how to answer the phone, I know how to do Excel, Word, and all that, but because I didn't have a degree behind me, they automatically wanted to throw me in. So I ended up being a front desk agent at, what was it? It used to be the Holiday Inn. That's a graduate. And I was the only black person that worked up front. Everyone else was white. I think we had like one Spanish girl and one Asian guy. And it was very sad because all of these Sudanese women worked in housekeeping. So they would like come and talk to me, and I would talk to them, and half of them didn't even know I was Sudanese because I didn't have an accent. You know, I'm just like, oh, I'm Sudanese, and I speak to them in Arabic back and stuff. But like, it made me really sad because, first of all, they're giving these jobs, and I know they need to work. And somebody needs to do that job, but like, they're just taking advantage of, like, as far as pay, and they have to work so much harder, and they have such a huge responsibility with such small pay. And that, to me, just really pushed me to get my degree, because I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want somebody to continuously put me in a box because of a degree that I don't feel like we necessarily need, but they feel like it is to just kind of like back them up or see if you're even qualified to work. But it really stressed me out. So
Yeah, I feel like it's the same way too with me, like pushing me to get my degree, because like I know with my parents and my mom, like, she really had to struggle to, like, raise us, and, like, she didn't have an education. Like, even back home, like, she didn't go to school, and, like, came here, like, you know, didn't go to school either, and, like, she tried to take, you know, the ESL classes and stuff, and, like, her English was pretty good, but just, you know, writing and reading skills, like, aren't all there. But yeah, she's not able to, you know, get the jobs that, like, I know because she's really good at, like, business and stuff like that, but, like, because she doesn't have, you know, those degrees or anything like that, she can't really, they pass her up, but she can't really do anything with that.
Yeah, it makes me so sad. Even the accent, like, the fact that our parents have accents, like, people will try to, like,
automatically
try to, like, stupid talk my parents, and I'm like, cut it out. Like,
she understands you.
That's one of my pet peeves, but yeah, I agree. And, like, sometimes even with the degree of any sort, they kind of give you an easier, a little bit less labor and still an okay pay, but then it's like when you don't have that and you do come from a foreign country, then they don't want to give those opportunities, or they feel like you can't do it because of the English barrier
and all of that.
That's a whole nother topic, man.
That could definitely be
so for maybe kids in high school or anybody that's thinking about going to college, worried about, especially being African, worried about like the financial aspect, like what advice would you give to someone who's still in high school or maybe even starting? Because the variety of people watching is crazy, like freshmen in high school to whatever.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
My biggest advice is don't be afraid to try. Because honestly, even with me in the high school, like I really didn't. Well, I always thought, you know, college was in, you know, the long run, but at the same time, like, I didn't know if I'd be able to afford college.
Right.
And that was the biggest thing, like, how am I able, you know, afford this and all of that. But, you guys, there's so many scholarships, there's so many, like, you know, things like financial aid and, like, just resources. Like, you're not alone. Like, you could reach out and, like, go to your counselor, you know. You could even, like, reach out to the colleges themselves and ask them about the programs and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... go ahead.
Oh, I would say also, like... reach out to people who are in school, because there's a lot of resources that now at my age that I know and I wish I knew back then, but like you just don't know where to start, because all you hear is financial aid, and you see the tuition for a year at a university and it's 30,000 a year, and you're like, what the heck what is 30,000, you know? Hold on, I'm gonna plug this in real quick because my computer's dying. No.
I'm gonna take out this gum real quick.
Okay, go for it, and then we can continue. There we go. Okay, we're back. Okay, but yeah, just just finding the resources, reaching out to people who are in college. There's so much to learn. I think to make sure you educate yourself first. That's first thing I would say. And then just know that like being smart is not nerdy. Don't let anyone talk you out of like being smart. Because I used to get made fun of for actually getting good grades. And high school people are so cruel. But honestly, educate yourself. Be the smartest one in the class. If you can, like, just take all the opportunities you can.
Yeah, definitely. And then another thing, I would say don't be afraid of failure, because that's a huge thing. Like, you might not get into the college that you want to get into. You might not, you know, just succeed in all the things that you try to do. But you have to keep on trying until you get there. So that's one big thing.
Yeah. And like she said earlier, 2-year colleges are so okay.
Yes.
I remember being in high school and they try to push the narrative that 4-year colleges are better and you get done quicker.
Yeah.
But 2-year colleges are just fine. You're not dumber for going to community college. And I wish I knew that a long time ago, because I would have definitely done that
Because you save so much money too with community college.
Absolutely. You can stay home, work, and go to school and still graduate at the same time as your colleagues. Like, you don't need the freshman experience, being on campus. Although those things are great, in the long run you save a lot more money, you get done quicker, and you actually get those 2 years to figure out like what you want to know. So that's definitely something that I would say. For someone who is on the non-traditional route, I would say just do it. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you feel like you've wanted to achieve a degree for yourself or just to better or accelerate in life, I would say do it. I mean, I'm unashamed. I'll graduate when I'm 26, and I'm so okay with that, because I fought for this degree.
As long as you get it, that's what matters, honestly.
It doesn't matter if it takes you 4 years or 8 years.
Yeah,
as long as you get the degree. That's all that matters. But
yeah.
thank you so much for coming on my channel.
No.
I was excited because I'm like, I met you through watching my channel.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. I'm like, yes.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited. So yeah, she used to watch my videos and I'm so glad I got to meet her, and now she's
When I met her, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Guye.
Yeah, I was just like what? It's in Nebraska, especially Lincoln is so small. I'm like,
so small.
somebody actually knows me here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exciting. Thanks for coming on my channel.
Thanks for having me.
I definitely love to have you back again. This is really good conversation. And I hope people get something out of this, especially because I think education is so important for us. Coming from a whole different country and just wanting to better ourselves and not dealing with the situations that certain parents did. And this is a whole different conversation, but like, whereas sometimes people come here with their spouses and then the husband is like,
yeah, the husband's the one that gets to go to school and like, you know,
and the wife's at home and not doing very much for herself.
Yeah.
Or the husband does get the education, has the money, and the wife is not really working because she has kids, and then a lot of stuff happens in between. And I'm just glad that like women in our generation are able to leave negative situations if needed, build our own empire or dynasty or whatever, and not have to rely on someone. There's nothing wrong with relying on anyone, but you know what I mean.
It's better like when you have it on your own, so you don't have to.
Right.
You just have it.
You just have it. Exactly.
You just have it.
Yeah. Well, there you are, guys. Hope you guys liked this video. I had so much fun just chatting about school and all of that. I want you guys to tell us your different experiences with school. If you are in college, if you're thinking about it, and maybe just your own experience with education in general. So give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.